Hello and welcome to Stress Less with me, Jess. Today, my special guest is Annie J. Hello, Annie.
Hey Jess, good to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on here. So let's get right to it and see how tell everybody why you are amazing. So you're a financial coach. As a financial coach, you help people with their money stress and create a life where money isn't the thing holding them back. Coaching is crossed between practical money tips and the psychological side of money, which is super important. You have a 7-step process to have financial freedom that shall share with us, along with 9 steps to improve your money relationship. And I love this part, stress less. So Annie, you are in the beautiful state of Hawaii. So you obviously have no stress in your life. You're right.
Obviously, yes, life is perfect here.
Well, tell us about how you even got started as a money coach, financial coach. Tell us the journey with that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I think if someone I never thought I would end up in the world of personal finance. Like to me, I would associate that with like accounting or banking, and that was just seemed kind of like bland. Like it's super important. I love bankers, I love accountants, and it's not my style, not my vibe. I'm a little more of like the free-spirited, adventurous, like don't give me a spreadsheet type. So I'm honestly like mesmerized that I'm in the personal finance world. But what I discovered, I guess now coming up on like 7 years ago, is that personal finance is about so much more than numbers. Numbers, it's such a tiny, tiny piece of the pie. Yeah, so money stress was horrible growing up. I remember watching like my parents argue about money a little bit, and it was like money was always the thing holding us back. We'd buy like low quality things because we didn't want to pay the extra for the nicer part, or couldn't go on those trips. Whatever it was, money was limiting us. So I decided to see if there was a different way to live, and turns out there totally is. So here we are in paradise. Not that long later.
And I love this because, money is the financial struggle, the financial way we look at finance, we all have this in some form of capacity, right? We all have some type of relationship with money. And I think, it's good, it's bad, it's I can pay the bills on time, or I overspend, or I don't spend enough, or I don't put enough into me. I don't invest enough in me. I don't invest in my house. I don't, all these different things. And so I think this is something that everybody can relate to. And so I think it's really important that you do talk about this. And I think you also said too, with the arguing, we all had some type of argument over money, whether it's
Yeah.
with ourselves, with our relationship, with our parents, with the bank, with the credit cards.
Yeah, for sure.
And and so I think we all have this. So I guess the first question is, how do I know I need a financial coach or a money coach?
If you're stressed. Yeah, I think there's a common misconception that like we help people that are broke, like people that have like no money, or are like super low income, or just like extreme, like on the edge of bankruptcy sort of thing. And reality is most people make good money, spend a lot of money, don't talk to their spouse about money, they're stressed about the cruise they just booked. So those are the types of people. It's just like, yeah, if money is holding them back, or they just want like a better plan and some guidance or reassurance, money coaching is something that most people could benefit from.
I think the ones I always hear about are, financial struggles or reaching your goals. But I think the one thing that you just said too is the reassurance part. Because I think sometimes we think we're worse off, or maybe we think we have more debt, or we think we don't have enough money for something. And when we meet with people like you, we realize, oh, actually, I can afford this if I take this piece away. Or actually, I haven't used my Netflix account in 6 months. Maybe I should just delete it. I think that reassurance piece is really big, because I think that goes back to the beginning thing, what you were saying with the mindset piece of, if I just need reassurance and education around that, I'm okay if I just do these 2 little tweaks. Or maybe it's just speaking to an expert going, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some clients that actually have like a ton of savings, and like on paper, I look at them like their intake form. I'm like, okay, they've got great income, tons of savings. She's young, she's single, like she barely has any expenses. Like, why is she even coming to me? And with that particular client, it was like she had this huge chunk of savings. She's got her parents telling her like buy a house. She's got her friends telling her like go to Thailand. You're young, and other people are like go meet with this financial advisor. Start like make sure you're maxing out all your retirements. And she's just like decision overload. Like what do I do? Should I be buying a house because I have the money? People just yeah, so many voices, so many opinions, so much noise in the finance world. People just need someone to like hold their hand and be like, hey, like, what do you want to do? Like, what are we even working towards? Like, what's the end goal?
Yeah, and I think what I tell people too is literally what you said is, what are you working for? But a lot of times, tell me if you see this too, is that we work and work and work. We don't spend the money because either, like you said, I'm decision overload and I don't know what to do with it, or I'm scared to spend it because whatever I grew up in, or I don't know where to put it. I don't, all right, I don't think I have enough money, or the what ifs. So I make this huge savings. I like to tell the one story when my sister and I, we both were hosts at the same place and she was getting her first paycheck. And I would tell her, put this much, in your checking because you have to pay these bills, but put this much in your savings, but don't ever touch your savings. And I just meant it as like, it's your savings. And so fast forward, she had car trouble, et cetera, et cetera. And she said, I don't have the money and blah, blah. And I said, what about your savings? We said I couldn't touch it. Well, no, this is what it's for.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Right. Very literal. She took that very literally.
Yes, 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 for sure, for sure. No, and so I think what you do is great. So tell me the process of working with you. So do I come with all my bank statements? Do I bring my retirement plan? What do I do when I meet with Annie?
Yeah, I used to require people to fill out like a ton of forms. It would be like where they put all their debt information. So like your debt, I want to know the interest rates of all your credit cards. I want to know the balances of all your credit cards. I want to know the minimum payments. I want to know what's in your 401k. And it paints like a super clear picture, super helpful, and for most people, extremely overwhelming. So now people just book a 90-minute call to start and we just dive in. A lot of it, like the very first step in my process is creating that vision that just kind of takes it from like flashlight mode to like, I need to be buying a house and investing and I want to take that cruise and I also want to go to Europe and what do I do? And then we like kind of laser focus and like, okay, like now we know what we're working towards. So the first call, there's really not that much prep work. A short form that maybe takes like 10 minutes. And then the goal is that they leave that session with some clear action steps to get them started. And if they want the accountability and the guidance with that, that's when we explore something like long-term coaching. You're muted.
Accountability is a big one for sure. No, I definitely agree. I think a lot of us need that piece is to have that accountability because, like you said, we have these goals, we have these decisions, but it's the how do we do it and then holding my hand with it because it's something different that I haven't done before. So when I have somebody holding me accountable, I'm then able to probably push through with it more. So I like that you bring that up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, life is busy. It's easy for those types of like the finance things. No one wants to go check their 401k. You don't even know their login. So
Right.
having that accountability, like, yeah, for the tedious things, it's so important.
All those two things definitely add up. So I like that you bring those things up. And I think having less of an intake form probably takes a lot of stress away from others too. And so, it's like you had mentioned in the beginning, this is stressful for everybody. This is not an easy conversation, let alone to talk to somebody that you don't even know about your finances,
Yeah, it's true.
you know? So speaking of stress and everything in between, how do you feel you manage the stress from with your work into your day-to-day life?
I can't believe I'm saying this right now. I got into meditating.
Tell me
It,
more.
it took a very long time. It was actually my business coach that was the one that was like, the thing that's holding you back, you seriously need to slow down. And he was like, just start meditating. And I was like, no, 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 no. I started doing it. I started with 30 seconds a day. That was almost a year ago. Now I'm up to a minimum of 10 minutes a day. So serious progress is being made over here.
That's
Yeah,
not easy.
that's been helping me like slow down and just kind of remember in the grand scheme of things, like it's good. Like in the grand scheme of things, all these things that I tend to stress over don't matter. So meditating, there you have it.
Well, I think also what I heard in there was your business coach, and I want to highlight that piece just because I'm a firm believer if you invest in yourself, others will invest in you. So I think you're showing the purpose of that coaches are important. And this is something I was just talking to another speaker friend of mine about is that, we read all these books, and I think there's a couple of things that I see in all the books of all the leaders that I listen to, and all of them have some type of coach. So I really like that you kind of brought that up is that you're a coach and you still have a coach for something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. So thanks for being honest about that too.
Coaches need coaches. Absolutely.
It's definitely a hashtag. So Annie, for the listener that's you're checking all the boxes for, what is the best way for them to contact you?
Instagram or my website. So Instagram is just Annie J Coaching. That's ANNIEJAY coaching. And my website is anniejcoaching.com. You can find all the embarrassing dance videos where I dance off beat and
Love it. I love it. And then what before we get into the lightning round, what is the one takeaway you want the listeners to have today?
oh, if you're stressed with money, as cheesy as it sounds, make a plan. Make a realistic plan that actually excites you. Money does not have to be a stress in your life.
Like that. Make a plan that excites you because again, when we think about planning, we're going, okay, I'm gonna pay off this debt and I'm gonna buy the new car. And yes, so I love that you brought that up. Very nice. All right, Annie, let's get into the lightning round. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. What is your most used emoji?
The party one.
For some reason, I can totally see that. What word do you favor? Like what word do you use a lot?
What word do I use a lot? Ooh, love. I
Oh.
tend to love too many things.
What's one subject you would like to learn more about?
Stress.
Oh, well, hey,
Bad.
me up.
Stress in like a holistic view, like not just the money stress, but relationship stress, all the things. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a real thing too. What dish do you cook the best?
Fajitas. Good steak fajitas.
All right, I'll fly to Hawaii just for your fajitas.
So it's on the menu tonight, actually.
Goodness, yes, that's amazing. Finish this phrase. The way to my heart is.
Acts of service. Mow my yard.
Is there anything that you collect?
Ooh, no, actually. I used to. I used to collect like pebbles and like bracelets. No, I don't do any of that anymore.
As a financial coach, what was your last impulsive buy?
Oh, the one that comes to mind, I didn't actually end up buying it, but it was a $9,000 course. And it was like I heard about it the morning of, and it was like a day of thing. And I was like, I cannot spend $9,000 on something I heard about an hour ago. But I was super, super close. So it was like it was like a speaker course.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So last money question. What item is worth spending more money on?
Oh, anything that makes you happy. Spend money on the things you enjoy.
I love
Yeah.
it. Annie, thank you so much for being on this call today. I just really appreciate you making time out for the listeners.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.